Hello and welcome to Red Rocks. This is Supreme Commander Forge Alliance on Forge Alliance Forever, a ranked game between Vortex, player probably should all know, and LordVader. LordVader was one of the better players back in the GPG net days, but then, yes, the story goes, his house burned down and he lost his computer, and perhaps now he finally got enough money to buy a new one. Correct me if I'm wrong on that story, but he is back, which is really awesome, and he's playing Cybran, going first land. Meanwhile, Vortex, not surprisingly, Sera, going first air with the bomber. So you can see the standard air factory 3P gen, and the bomber is now going straight across. It's going to start doing damage. You can see 6 P-gens, air factory for LordVader. And you can see the bomber has now just been spotted. First kill for Vortex. And this engineer is very precious. Unable to dodge. That engineer would have been very nice for expansion. This could be another big loss. Looks like Vortex passes up the opportunity. That would have stopped any expansion to the middle ground for LordVader. But looks like Vortex having some problem. Oh well, no. That was a nice dodge. Now interceptors from second air should put an end to this first bomber fun. That was also a good dodge. So 2 kills for that early bomber. Here comes another one from Vortex. Vortex is a whole bunch of power plant. His ACU very aggressive to the middle. He's going to make a whole bunch of land factories. Interceptors and flak for LordVader. LordVader also taking his ACU to the middle. And looks like yet another bomber. And now engineers. So 3 bombers for LordVader. One of these will die with no kills. The first one got 2, and there's still one more here behind. He got 2 kills against some flak. That was devastating. That was pretty devastating bomber there from Vortex. He's pretty good at that. But now interceptors over Vortex base is going to prevent any more interceptors or bombers from coming out until this flak is completed by Vortex. And now LordVader should fly away, but LordVader's base was the double bombs. It's all the micro from Seraphim bombers. Everybody's used to that. It's something we have to live with. It looks like the factories are now the target, and air control is now firmly in LordVader's hands. And of course, with Cybran gestures are definitely a possibility, but no, he's going to go with a transport, and that's also very nice on this map with these 2 large bodies of dry land with a bunch of mass extractors. So it looks like Vader is going to grab one of those, and another transport coming out as well. Meanwhile, Vader in the middle getting his 3rd land factory. Actually, there's another one here, which is the 4th. And total recon for Vader all over the middle. And a lot of bombers here looking for any possible expansions to the side. Looks like there might be something interesting going on, but there's no way that interceptor, it'll spot that there is a drop, but it won't prevent it. Bombers versus tanks for Vader. And now I see Vortex taking his ACU after getting 4 land factories. More land factories for Vader. He's going to have a total of 7 or 6 on the middle mass. More land factories now for Vortex as well. Successful drop. It's going to be 4 mass extractors for LordVader. Now we see some first fighting over the middle. One thing to note, Vortex much quicker to the high ground behind his base. getting more air factories. And also a navy for Vortex. No navy for LordVader yet, but LordVader taking over the middle with some nice chunks of mass here. Whole bunch of manti. Looks like early land advantage in the middle for LordVader. Now we got the air battle that appears that Vortex is going to take. It'll be very close. Vortex not getting into the middle, getting the mass. LordVader retreats. Some nice raiding units here from LordVader. Vader finally gets up on top. A big power spam. So this is a very important raid. Killed off the engineers, making more land factories. So Vortex is stuck at 5 land factories. Meanwhile, we're seeing 7 for LordVader, which is going to translate into more units for him. LordVader here, plenty of mass, just enough power. Really nice balance. Vortex also plenty of mass and good power. So both players are very good with their ecos. But it looks like Vader are able to take over both sides here. That's a total of 8 mass extractors. It's a big advantage. He still doesn't have his Hydra, but plenty of power from Tech 1. Also quite a bit of power for Vortex from Tech 1. More land factories for Vader, as well as Vortex. So both players realizing just how important the middle is. It's going to be a massive Tech 1 land battle. And in terms of air, perhaps a little bit more for Vortex. Vortex now with a drop. Whole bunch of NGs. He's thinking about dropping here, but that's not going to be good. That's a bunch of manti here. Also coming in with interceptors. And looks like that was a bad idea. He's going to load him back up on the transport and fly away. So good response there from Vortex. And he's going to defend that transport very nicely. Couple interceptors there flying into the wrong area of the map are going to die. Also some submarines are going to prevent any navy from LordVader, at least from the main base. And now a nice raid around the side for Vortex in the middle. See LordVader really keeping all of his units together. He's going to get some manti down here to play some defense. And Vortex here, 20 health left on that transport. They did drop off an engineer here. This could be nice. Captured mass extractor. Perhaps some land factories. And another engineer is going to be another captured mass extractor. So Vortex very nice with his transports, but in the middle, looks like the ACU here for LordVader with the gun. Vortex, no upgrades. And bombers assaulting the bottom base. This could be a loss for LordVader if he doesn't do something about it. Some frigates. And this transport with 20 health, just no respect flying through. Very nice engineers all over the place. And there it goes. Successful capture up on top. And if actually Vortex can build up on top, it would be very nice. But meanwhile, LordVader pushing Vortex all the way back to his factories. It looks like having that factory advantage in the middle is now paying off. And if Vortex loses these factories, he's going to lose the middle. And that's going to be very difficult for him. Because LordVader, of course, controls the top. Now, this is pretty ridiculous. The engineers for Vortex are really taking a whole bunch of mass extractors from LordVader. Vortex is now in the water. The remnants of his units in the middle are being destroyed. Although they're doing a very good job trying to do as much damage as they can. And now an air battle. Vortex still seems to have the advantage. He has a whole bunch of air factories. Also got Tech 2 air with gunships. And these bombers from Vortex completely wiped out this bottom base. Tech 2 bombers for LordVader trying to kill the frigates. And air domination, very nice for Vortex. So The middle belongs to LordVader, but air belongs to Vortex. Map control, quite difficult to call at this point. It's really all those mask ejectors that was stolen. Well, actually, map control is now definitely in LordVader's hands now that he's completely killed off Vortex in the middle. It looks like Vortex is going to take this bottom. That's the 4 mask ejectors. And a gesture for LordVader is going to kill off the mask ejectors that Vortex stole. This one's going to be captured back. Vortex, no upgrades sitting in the water. Vortex 1000 power, 41 mass, and 7900 reclaim. LordVader is going to get a huge reclaim from the middle. Very similar power for these players, as well as mass production. Very similar economies. Now Tech 2 gunships trying to take over the top. Run into some trouble. And actually momentarily it looks like LordVader has one air up on top with the help of all this flak. Plus he's got Tech 2 bombers. Could be very nice. Vortex thinking about going back onto dry land in the middle here, minute 17. Maybe not a good idea. Tech 2 transport. For LordVader, it should be spotted. But with all these units that are veterans that just won the middle, putting those in transports and assaulting either this bottom base or the Vortex base directly is the obvious thing to do. It should be very effective. And that's exactly what LordVader is doing. He's also got pretty big air production directly in the middle. But Navy is really the thing that's a problem for LordVader. All this Tech 1 is going to prevent Vader from coming in. But of course with Tech 2 air he should be able to solve that problem. Tech 2 gunships. Vortex, but Tech 2 bombers coming in. Looks like they will be intercepted. They do have some nice targets. 3 Tech 2 bombers. The Tech 2 power would have been a great target, but it looks like they targeted the mask ejector instead, almost killing it. And now it's going to be a successful drop. Beautiful stuff from Vader. A Tech 2 bombing run, followed up by a nice Tech 2 drop with a bunch of Tech 1 units. Meanwhile, Vortex going with Tech 2 Navy, going with the cruisers. And he's got to do something at this point because he's completely lost nav control. And now he's got major problems in his own base. And in terms of air, it's quite even. The gunships for Vortex flying over their own units. We might see an air battle. Vader with 43 interceptors. 58 for Vortex. Vortex should take this easily. Vortex forced into the water, but this cruiser right here is going to be very nice for Vortex. Now it looks like the engineers for LordVader trying to get into the water. They will be killed by these submarines. With a little Tech 2 air help, this should be solved. Air now belongs to Vortex, so that's going to be very difficult for Vader. Well, it somewhat belongs to Vortex. There's still plenty of interceptors for Vader in the middle. And looking at the reclaim here, minute 21, 9,500 for Vader, 2,000 power. 10,000 for Vortex. Actually, Vortex is quite a bit, but actually quite a bit of mass as well for Vortex. He's got a whole bunch of Tech 2 mask ejectors. And now raiding with Tech 2 gunships. Big cloud of interceptors with Tech 2 gunships. With this air production though from LordVader, Vortex should not take his air for granted here. He just might lose it. It looks like he is in the process of losing it. But the gunships from Vortex, yeah, nice victory there from LordVader. But the cruisers now for Vortex is going to be the major problem. The gunships will be killed. And of course the Seraphim cruiser, very long range, reach deep into the enemy territory, can pretty much hit any point on this map. And now Tech 2 Air for LordVader is going to kill off the Tech 1 Navy, which should allow LordVader to get into the water. Yet another cruiser coming out for Vortex. Vortex with some shields just in case he gets bombed, protecting his Tech 2 power, very big asset. And of course these cruisers extremely good against air, especially Tech 1 Air with their flak. And you can see that was ridiculous. 27 kills for that cruiser. Big loss for LordVader in that one. Whole bunch of torpedo bombers for Vader. These are not likely to get more than one pass, but he's got to kill these cruisers as soon as possible. Two cruisers are much more difficult to kill than one cruiser. And then 3 or 4 cruisers is nearly impossible with air, unless you have complete dominance. But now Vader able to get into the water with Cybran, a lot of build capacity as well. Vader 13,000 reclaim, definitely has enough mass to make a nice navy. And he's going straight to the Tech 2 subs for Cybran. Frigate here is going to try to prevent this, but torpedo bombers killing the frigates quite nicely. Meanwhile, this cruiser with 29 kills. Another cruiser has just been completed. Top side is going to be lost by LordVader. And a massive air force is going to kill off a lot of these Tech 2 torpedo bombers. Another crucial air battle. Looks like Vortex is going to win it. Torpedo bombers coming in. It looks like this cruiser is going to be taken out. And that was a couple Tech 2. These are very quick Tech 2 submarines from LordVader, and those are going to kill this cruiser very easily. So the naval battle is now very much even. Slight advantage in terms of map control for Vader. He hasn't really been able to hold on to the middle very well with all those cruisers. Air now does belong to Vortex, however. Those cruisers really made that air battle very difficult for Vader, and Vortex now has total air domination. But he needs to pay attention. You don't want to fly backwards. But a cruiser for Vader, cruiser plus submarines from Cybran, whole bunch of gunships. Those gunships needs to avoid the cruiser. He can do a lot of good damage. Tech 2 mask tractors here up on top. Also some Tech 2 power. And the raiding is beginning. Tech 2 gunships with air domination on spread out maps like this, very effective. Now this cruiser could cut off that air force from the rest, but it's just methodically taking out mask tractors. Now Vortex I'm making some destroyers. Gunships versus Tech 1 power generators. The cruiser is going to move over, trying to kill some of those. And the eco for Vader really took a hit there. Sitting at 46 mass. He's got big mass deficit trying to make that navy. Plenty of power still. Vortex at plus 70, so significant advantage. A little less power, but he doesn't really need too much. This cruiser getting quite a few kills. Vortex needs to run away. And here we got the naval battle, submarine versus destroyer. The submarine was a little late. If it would have came a little earlier, multiple destroyers and submarines are not going to have too much success. Some Tech 2 flag here as well for Vortex. This really good anti-air in this position. We should see some destroyers from LordVader. Yet another cruiser. No, it's gonna be submarines from LordVader. They are a little cheaper, but destroyers is really the way to go, especially against Seraphim destroyers. They can outrange. Well, maybe the cruisers can also outrange. But the cruisers can go underwater, but I guess then they can be countered by the submarines. But really the gunships from Vortex, very dominant. Denying a lot of these mask structures for LordVader. It just takes a lot of energy and concentration. Try to get those mask structures back, and the longer you don't have them, the more mass you lose. And tech 2-point defenses now for Vortex. Vortex trying to establish a base here on the mainland. With a tech 2 engineer, you just might be able to do this. Good control on the gunships, avoiding the flak. Although they didn't avoid the flag there, but still alive. Now going right after the ACU. This could be game over here, minute 30 for LordVader. A lot of flak coming in. LordVader moving toward his flak. More than halfway on the health. And then it looks like the flak is going to chase away those gunships. So a good move there from Vortex, playing very safe. He's going to keep his asset and keep on attacking. Meanwhile, we do see these cruisers from LordVader are going to be attacking the bottom base. Multiple destroyers coming in. 4 submarines, 3 destroyers. Now this will very much depend on micro. These cruisers from Cybran, as long as they can kite, you don't want these destroyers to get close. That looks like Vader's going to win that anyway. That's really the power of Cybran. Cybran Navy, a very good navy. Both cruisers are dead, but these submarines take care of the 3 destroyers. Cruiser is going to retreat. Gunships continue to menace. Minute 31. More Tech 2 power. And looks like air station facilities for Vortex, trying to refuel his planes and also repair them. It's a really nice move. Vader with a gun running into this Tech 2 point defense. This Tech 2 engineer, very nice Tech 2 engineer. Vortex running a little too close and now is going to get hit by the gunships. Even though he's standing right next to the flak, unable to. Looks like he did not see the Tech 2 point defense. Kind of surprised the LordVader. He ran into a very powerful unit, lost a lot of health quickly, and he dies. Although from this position, it does look like Vortex did have the advantage. A little more eco. Although these submarines are very nice for LordVader. But nice air control from Vortex and those gunships. Denied so many mask structures. Hopefully people enjoy this.